Hi everyone, welcome back to today's video. For today, I'm going to be making this really fun card and you might actually recognize it. So I'm doing something a little bit different from what I normally do. This is actually a card that is one of the projects in our occasions catalog. So not only does the catalog showcase all of our current products, and all of the fun things that come out, but it also showcases a ton of amazing project ideas, and I think sometimes they get overlooked. So I wanted to start showing you guys how you can recreate the projects that are in our catalogs. Really easy to do, I promise. And they turn out stunning. They look way fancier than they actually are. This one is super easy to make, and I know you're just going to love it. So I might be doing this a little more frequently now, just showing you guys how to recreate some of the things in the catalog. This one's super quick and easy, and I really hope you're gonna like it. So to start off, let's just, excuse me, let's walk through the materials that you're going to need. Now I am making it slightly different from the catalog. So this card is actually on page 9, and it's right up here. And if you look at it, it has some rhinestones on it. I just went a little bit of a different direction with mine, and I'll talk to you about that as we make it, but just so you have a reference, this is what I was using when I created this card. So I definitely took the inspiration. They're almost identical. I just changed up a couple of things. So what you're going to need. We're going to be using the Birthday Wit stamp set, and this one is one of my absolute favorites. I just love it. These sentiments are like my favorite ever. It's just one of those cards, or one of those stamp sets that I find hilarious, and I couldn't turn it down. So I'm really excited to be using this one. For ink, we have 3 ink pads here. We have a Dapper Denim, Pool Party, and Lemon Lime Twist. All great colors on their own. They're gonna look super pretty together. We're gonna be using a few embellishments. So these are our glitter and clear epoxy shapes. I actually passed these up in the catalog when I was looking at it initially, and I don't remember what page they're on, but I originally passed them up and totally just like looked past them. I didn't really even, I didn't think twice about it. I didn't notice them. And then I was looking at something and I was like, man, I don't think those are in the annual catalog. Where in the world are they? And I ended up finding them. See, look, I passed them up again. I'll find it and I'll insert the page number somewhere here. That's really gonna bother me because they're kind of hidden. So I wanna make sure you guys know that they're actually there, because I totally did pass them up the first time. Oh, right here. Glitter and clear epoxy shapes. So they're $7 and you get 176 elements with it. So super good deal. They're really cute and they're really fun to play with. I'm actually going to use these on another card coming up. So we're going to use those. And then I also have here, these are the Tutti Frutti adhesive backed sequins. We're going to be using the Lemon Lime Twist and the Pool Party colors, but this pack comes with a few other colors too. You have pink, orange, and yellow in here as well, but we're going to be using these two because they coordinate with our card for today. And then for paper, I have a piece, I just took one piece of thick Whisper White and I cut it in half, so we have our card base here, which is 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. When you're using our thick cardstock, make sure you score your card base so that it folds really nicely. If not, you'll get those like crinkly edges and nobody likes that. Then I took the other half of that paper and I cut it at 4 1/4. So I have 2 pieces that are 5.5 by 4 1/4. And we're going to use one for our card base, and then we're going to use the other to cut out our little sentiment. So if you just had a scrap of thick Whisper White, you could use that. You don't have to use thick Whisper White. You can use regular Whisper White. I just like the thickness of it. It really holds up well. And I think it gives a very simple card like this a good feel in your hands. It feels very substantial. So that is everything that we're going to need for today's project. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is take our Dapper Denim ink pad, and we're going to use this sentiment here. And this one says, they say if someone forgets your birthday, you don't get any older that year. And I just love that. I think it's funny. So we're going to take this and we're going to stamp this onto one of our halves, or one of our quarters, I guess I should say, of thick Whisper White. Now this stamp did give me a little bit of trouble the first time I tried to stamp it. So I'm kind of mirroring or bringing the two together, kind of clapping my hands if I didn't have these in my hands, if I'm being honest. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to stamp it down, and then I'm going to flip it over and just kind of press down on the back. And you don't have to worry about getting the edges on this piece because we're gonna cut this out and stick it up with some dimensionals. So it's not 100% perfect, but it looks pretty good to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Close that guy up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give this a second to dry because I am gonna be putting my little grubby fingers all over it here in 1 second. So our ink dries pretty quickly, but I just want to give it a second so that I don't smudge it and I don't get ink all over my fingers, and then transfer it to our nice pretty card. So I think that should be good. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take some scissors. These just happen to be some Cricut scissors that I have here. Any scissors that you have, and I'm going to fussy cut. Now this is a pretty basic shape, so it's not too difficult, and it's also pretty forgiving if you don't get the lines perfect. You're not really going to notice it that much. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and then we'll come right back. Now that I've got that done, I'm going to go ahead and bring in my other piece of Whisper White, and I'm actually going to grab my grid paper just so that I have something to stamp off on. You can see I've been working on this sheet, so ignore the mess. But I am going to do a little bit of off stamping, so I just wanted to make sure I have something. So now I have our other quarter of Whisper White, and I'm going to take the little sentiment that we just cut out and I'm going to flip it over. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can get an idea of where I want these other stamps to go. So I'm going to bring in my Lemon Lime Twist and my Pool Party, and we're going to use these little like oval dot kind of things, as well as a little starburst from this set. I'm going to use the starburst with Pool Party and the little dots with Lemon Lime Twist, and I'm just going to kind of start stamping them. As you can see in my sample that I made, I just kind of randomly did them where I thought they looked cute. In the one in the catalog, they definitely didn't stamp as many of these images as I did. I went a little crazy, but I like it. I think it looks cute. So I'm just gonna make sure I hold down the piece, or I should say my sentiment, just to make sure that it doesn't move anywhere. And I'm just gonna kind of start stamping these around the sentiment. It's completely optional and up to you, or optional. It's completely up to you where you decide to place them. That one I didn't stamp very well, but we're just gonna leave it because I don't want to risk it. And I would go back and forth, and I would do, whoops. Man, I'm a mess today. I would stamp a couple of the green ones and then stamp a couple of the blue ones and kind of alternate back and forth so that you get a really good mix of the two and you don't have too much of one and not enough of the other, if that makes sense. I'm not doing a very good job at keeping my edges clean, but I mean, it happens. Oops, I just used green. You know what? That's okay. We'll survive. Let's do another blue right there. And I think I'm gonna do another green right here. And then I'm just gonna flip this over and see what it looks like, see how I like it. I think I need some more green down here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then maybe a touch of green right in that corner. And I like it, so I think I'm good with that. So let me move these ink pads out of my way so I don't stick my hands in them. Now what I'm going to do is grab my dimensionals, and here, we can move that out of the way. And I'm just gonna take a few dimensionals and stick them on the back of this guy and pop it right down in there. Just like that. And the nice thing about this is that you kind of have some wiggle room, so it doesn't have to be right in one particular area. You kind of have a little bit of room to work with. So I wanted to stop before we move on to the next step. I think this card looks absolutely adorable just the way it is. So if you don't have any other embellishments, you could leave this as is. I think it's really, really cute just like this. I just wanted to kind of take it up another notch and add some more to it. So I'm going to be bringing in our little epoxy shapes. And then our sequins. So I'm just going to use my piercing tool to help me pull these off and stick them down. So I think I want a sequin right there. And another blue sequin right there. Add a couple of green ones. I love these sequins, A, because I just like sequins in general, and B, they already have the sticky on the back, so you don't have to fuss with them. They're just there, ready to go, ready for you to place them down. And I think we'll do one right there. And then I'm gonna do some of the clear epoxy shapes. So in this pack, you have 2 sheets. One sheet has glitter on it and the other is just clear. For this card, I'm just gonna use the clear circles, and you have 2 different shapes as well. Like I said, I'm just going to use the clear circles because I think they look really cool. There's one. And I'm just going to place these kind of randomly. I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just kind of filling in space where I feel like I need something else on the card. I'm not really thinking too much about it. I'm just kind of placing them down where I am drawn to. And I think I'm gonna leave that one there, and that's going to be it. So you can add as much or as little as you want, whatever you want to do to make the card look the way that you want it to look. If you don't want to add any of those embellishments, just leave it, and I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. So now all we have to do is put this bad boy together. So I'm gonna take my card base. Again, make sure you score it, and we're just gonna fold this in half. Now you can also, if you didn't want to build your card on a separate sheet and then attach it, you don't have to because they're actually the exact same size. So you're not going to have any borders like we usually have. I just think that the feel of the card is a lot nicer when you have the 2 layers together. It just feels more substantial in your hands. So I like having the 2 layers, but you absolutely don't have to do that. You could build the card right on here and that would be perfectly fine. So I'm going to take that, I'm then going to flip this over, and I'm going to use Fast Fuse just because I am using the Thick Whisper White. I don't want it to go anywhere. Not that I think it would with Snail, but just to be 100% sure, I'm going to use Fast Fuse. And then I'm just going to set it down. Now, I will tell you it's probably not going to line up perfectly, and that's okay. I usually try to line up the top edge and the crease here. And what ends up happening is I always end up with just a smidgen on the bottom. So I'll just take my scissors really fast and as carefully as I can possibly do it, just trim this. Just takes a second. And then everything lines up and it's perfect. So those are our 2 cards for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. It's so easy to do. And like I said, our catalog that we have is great. It has tons of products in it, but it also has some really good project ideas. So make sure you're checking that out and you try to recreate some of the stuff or use them for inspiration. Like I said, I went a little off from what this is, but for the most part, I kept it the same. But you can do that with so many different things in this catalog. So make sure you're using it not just for a catalog, but also for an idea book. And I will continue to show you guys how to make some of my favorite projects from it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, you can purchase any of these products 24/7 just by going to littlemooncreation.stampinup.net. If you don't have one of these catalogs, I am still sending some out. I still have some to send out. So if you need a catalog and you don't have another demonstrator, please let me know. You can go to my website and use the contact me form. You can email me at littlemooncreation@gmail.com and I will get one right out to you at no cost to you. And then don't forget that my paper share is still going for another few days. If you haven't gotten in on that yet, make sure you get in on that because it's super fun and you get some awesome stuff. So anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed today's project and I will see you in the next video.